This is back to the IHI NX25 mini excavator with a Yanmar diesel engine, 3-cylinder diesel. The engine is a model number 3TN-V76-QIK. That's the fuel injection pump in there. The issue with this one is the solenoid, I think, went bad. Bought a new solenoid. And this is the solenoid, and that's the part number for this specific model. Okay, and the solenoid, the way it functions, electrical current goes through it, the pin gets pulled in, it opens up the valve that's inside of the fuel pump that is covered up in here. So if you poke your finger, you can feel like a flapper that's in there that's going to push against to open up the high pressure, or to allow fuel to get into the high pressure injection pump. This is the old solenoid, it's still plugged in. If you turn the ignition on, the pin should retract and stay retracted. And the pin came back, so it doesn't stay retracted, so this one is malfunctioning. The new solenoid, it's plugged into its harness, and we are going to turn the ignition key on to see if the pin retracts and if it stays retracted. And the pin is retracted and it's staying retracted. So what happens with this fuel injection pump, when you turn the ignition to on, the pin retracts in here and it opens up the lever, the flapper that's in there. Whenever the ignition is off, the flapper gets pushed by the pin comes out, pushes the flapper in, and it shuts the fuel off. So if you have a no fuel supply through the injection pump, more than likely this is your issue. And this is the part number that I have. Mine is a IHI 25NX. So this part number is 1503ES-12S5S-UC12S. And this is a 3TN-V76-QIK motor, Yanmar 3-cylinder. And to install it, to remove it, you pull the water separator and the filter, the fuel filter off using a 12mm wrench. That screws the only thing that's holding it in place. You pull that off. You pull the throttle cable off. It's a 10mm nut on there. You loosen it up, pull it out of the way, pull the hoses out of the way, and you have good clean access to install it. What you need to make sure is that you reinstall the O-ring that's on the old solenoid. I've already put it in the groove. This solenoid, it seems that the boss that's on there, it's a little bit narrower. It is not as large. The diameter is different. So on the other one, the O-ring was snug on that diameter, but on this one, there's a groove for the O-ring to sit on, and I installed the O-ring within it, and I'm going to try and put it in without moving the O-ring and knocking it off. I've installed the nut nearest to me. It is a 10mm socket, and the screw, actually it's a screw, it's not a nut that I put on there. I held it with my hand pushed in, and then I tightened the screw in with my other hand, and that's how I made sure to keep the O-ring in place. I'm going to install this on the back side and tighten it up next to the socket, and then feel it in place. You can see it back in there. and then it helps to have this 1/4 inch socket extensions, as they are smaller and it's easier to maneuver in there. And that's snug. And now I'm going to torque it back up and then reinstall. All right, it is all buttoned up. Installed the solenoid in its place, torqued it down, reinstalled the water separator and the filter, reattached the throttle cable, routed the electrical conduit kind of underneath this tub in here to keep it away from the exhaust. Other thing to look at, the solenoid, there's a fuse on here that it jumped and I had to replace it. It's a 20 amp fuse is what I had on there, and I put a 25 in its place. So make sure you check the fuse if your solenoid does not function properly, because the fuse might be burned out.